Hello and welcome to Anna's Crafty Amore. I'm Anna. Today I'd like to share with you the 10 non-yarny things about me, as I was tagged by Pricilla from Distinctive Crochet, and I'll put her link to her channel in the description box below. And this was started by Rell from the Dabbling book. Hi Rell. And I'd just like to go through, I've got 10 things here that I would like to share about myself, and it's 10 non-yarny things about me. So I'll get straight into it. The first one is, I'm looking here because I've got a notebook, I've got it all written down, as if I don't know myself. Anyway, the first one is I love yogurt. Vanilla especially, but I do also like Greek yogurt, which is just plain yogurt that has all the good stuff in it and with no flavorings, no sugar, no nothing. Beautiful. Secondly, I've had a total of 5 operations. 3 were pretty big operations. I won't go into detail of what the operations were, but the 3 pretty big operations were in sort of one area of my body, and the other 2 were close, except the one up here, which I had half of my thyroid removed last year in March, because I had suffered from nodules in the thyroid, and I also suffer from an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's disease. So I take medication every day for the thyroid, and you know, it sort of affected my body in certain ways. Anyway, moving right along. The next one, number 3, is I've had multiple career changes. When I was at school, and even from a little girl, I always wanted to be a hairdresser. And so when I finished high school, year 10, that's year 10 here in Australia, I was lucky enough to get myself an apprenticeship. Back then, hairdressing apprenticeship lasted for 4 years, which involved 2 years at college, 1 day a week, and then 4 years practical learning within the salon. And I worked as a hairdresser for about 12 years, thereabouts, 10, 12 years. Until my kids, until I had kids. By the time I had my second child, it was very heartbreaking trying to leave my kids to go off to work, and luckily I was able to stay home after that, which was good. And once then my kids all went to school, then I went back to work. And when I went back to work, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. And I was in production, and I was classed as a production operator. Also, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, was trained, and I was the first woman to be trained within the company there as a sterile operator, making running all the machines, doing maintenance on the machines, cleaning and all that sort of thing. After that, I left that industry, and I went into the financial sector, and I had an office job because with different things that was happening, I had a back injury in the time that I was working in pharmaceutical, and I just couldn't do that kind of work anymore. It was very heavy work. I was a lot fitter though, but it's another story. So I went into financial sector, and after that, I wanted to do something for the elderly, looking after the elderly, and I was working for a community healthcare company and looking after the elderly in their homes, and I absolutely loved it. I did it for about 2.5 years, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was really good, very rewarding for me, and they brought more joy to me than what I brought to them. But they always said that they liked seeing my face when I went to visit them and do whatever I needed to do for them in their homes. So since then, I'm sort of retired now. I'm a full-time carer for my husband. My husband has a lot of sort of medical issues that have evolved from being in construction work and having few workplace sort of accidents as well in his lifetime. And yeah, so he can't work anymore, so we're home people. Number 4 is I have only ever broken one bone in my body, and it was my wrist. And it was a funny story. It was when I was around 7 or 8 years old, because 3 things happened to me in that year. So the first was broke my wrist. My brother and I, my brother had found a small red purse, like a little zippered purse, coin purse. And we had an old-fashioned sort of lounge that had like a wooden frame on it, and it was like a deep purple velour type lounge couch. Anyway, he threw the purse onto the lounge, and we both stood at the doorway. He threw the purse onto the lounge, and we both stood at the doorway, and he said, whoever gets to the purse first gets to keep it. Now, my brother was older than me, a couple of years older, and as we ran towards this little purse on the lounge, he sort of ever so gently pushed me out of the way so I wouldn't grab the purse, and my wrist went against the wooden frame of the lounge, and that's how I broke my wrist. So in that same year, I had appendicitis, and I had to have my appendix removed. And also, I think it was in that same year, I don't know why I did this, but I put a coloured pencil, you know, the lead of the coloured pencil. So the inside of the coloured pencil, I put it in my ear. And for some reason, I don't know why I did this, but I did. And I used a hairpin to try and take it out, but it actually pushed it further into my ear. So, yeah, I had to have that removed out of my ear. That's, you know, the things that kids do. Number 5, I can't swim, and I am absolutely terrified, you know, to the point of crazy scared of deep water. Even though I love the beach, I love looking at the ocean, I love water, you know, rivers, creeks, all of that sort of thing, beautiful, love it, but I won't go into the water because I'm just terrified. That was number 5. Number 6, I love cats. I love all animals, with the exception of one, but I'll go into that because it's another point. I love all animals, but I especially love cats. Just beautiful cats. Oh, I don't have a cat because where we live in this apartments here, we're unable to have any pets, but absolutely love cats. It's my all-time favourite animal. What else? Oh, number 7. I know how to drive auto and manual cars. Manual being stick, you know, with the gears. You've got to change the gears, and 3 pedals with the clutch and everything. I've been driving since I was driving age here. Driving on your own is 16. So I got my learner's permit and started how to drive. And my first car was a V8. Yes, it was my father's car. My father had passed away a few years before, and Mum never sold the car. So yeah, that was the first car that I was driving. It was a V8 Ford. And number 8, I have a fear. You probably think this is silly, but I have a fear of horses. No particular reason. I like the look of the horse, but there's no way that I'll go close to a horse. I had the opportunity to ride a horse in my teenage years, and I just froze, and I turned around and I left. I was just absolutely frozen, scared. I don't know why. Just, yeah. Anyway. Number 9. I'm a Piscean. So my star sign is Pisces. My birthday's in March. And also, ironically, in the Chinese zodiac, I was born in the year of the horse, and yet I'm terrified of horses. Go figure. And finally, number 10. I like tattoos, but I don't have any tattoos. I think maybe fear of the pain or something. I don't know. I really like some of the tattoos that I've seen on people. Are absolutely beautiful. My husband's got tattoos. My kids have got tattoos, but yeah, I don't have any tattoos. So that's all the 10 non-yarny things about me. And I'd like to tag a few people. I don't think that any of these people that I'm about to tag have done this yet, but I'd really like to learn more about them. And the first person who I'm going to tag is Zee from Zeldanrj3. Hi Zee! Please do this, I really like to learn more about you. And the next person is Angie by Love in Every Stitch by Rubybaby. I don't know if I sang that very well, Angie, but I'd really love for you to do this tag. Like to learn more about you. The next person is Holly from The Proper Pineapple. I don't know if you watch my videos, Holly, but I'd really love you to do this tag. And also, lastly, but definitely by no means least, Denise by Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. I would really love for you to do this tag as well. I'd love to hear your answers and learn a lot more about you too. So also, if you haven't been tagged, don't feel that you've been left out. You're welcome to do this tag. 10 non-yarny things about you. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.